My alcoholic morning routine. I used to wake up at some point in the morning and feel desperate. Desperate to escape from the rut I was in, the hole I was in, the alcohol, full of guilt, remorse, and hating myself, what I'd done. I was so down. I'm not a down person. This is a very serious subject. I knew I was dying, and I couldn't do anything about it. When I was very young, I was drinking quite a lot really. I was 18, 19. There was a radio station on called Night Owls, where people rang in between sort of midnight and 4 a.m. and this guy was on about alcoholism. I didn't take much notice of it at the time. I do remember somebody saying alcoholism is when you drop off the edge of the cliff and you can't get back onto the ledge again. And that's where I was. And I thought there was nobody there to help me. And I couldn't even help myself. I couldn't even get the doctors. I was so ill. I'd gone to about 9 stone in weight. I wasn't eating. I was getting to the pub maybe a couple of times a week just by getting the taxi and getting helped into the taxi. I used to be very fit. I'm very fit now because I've been sober for 6 years nearly. I used to lie in bed thinking, shall I get up? Shall I just lie here? Shall I just die in the bed? That's how desperate it was. And I always used to have a can of Stella, a can of beer next to the bed. And I had this huge ascites fluid-filled stomach, which is hard as a rock, like that. And I had a massive hernia, and my bed had dipped. The slats were all broken. So uncomfortable. I hadn't washed for days. I was just living, well, not even living, barely existing in a flat. I was fortunate that I had a little bit of income, so I wasn't struggling for money, but I was still in a mess, a total mess. I couldn't even get washed properly. I didn't have a shower. I had no hot water. I didn't want anybody in the flat to sort things out. I had rats in there. It was terrible. But my feeling of, I've got to get up. And I used to look at my phone and there was lots of missed calls from my parents, from my daughter. They're the only people that really sort of rang me. And the odd text from a couple of guys who I used to drink with, who said, are you coming down to the pub? I said, coming down to the pub? I could hardly get out of bed. I knew I had to have a drink to get out of bed. I wasn't going to go to the pub, I just needed to have a drink. And that was my routine every day. So I used to reach over, grab the can. As I was lying down, I just went, pour some in my mouth. It was spilling onto the pillow. I think, why am I here? Why am I still alive? And that's how bad it was. It was horrendous living like that. No doubt some of you have been through the same. No doubt some of you are a bit less ill than I was. But if you don't stop drinking, that's where you'll get. And I had this, I said, this massive hernia, and people were noticing when I used to go to the pub once or twice a week that I was looking so really ill. And I didn't realise how ill I was until I asked a good friend of mine who was also ex-police, and I said, look, Gary, do I look rough? He said, you look absolutely hideous. I said, why didn't you tell me? Oh, I didn't want to tell you. And they noticed this stomach was getting bigger, and they noticed this hernia. Nobody really did much about it. It's down to yourself, isn't it, to do something about it. But I tried the doctors. I couldn't get any diazepam. They referred me to a local referral centre, which I'd been to before and didn't know much use, and I couldn't get there anymore. I was past the point of no return, to be honest with you. And one night, I just thought, I've got to do something about it. I couldn't do something about it. Every day was going to be better in my head. So I thought I'd drink sort of loads of cans of beer, thinking I'm going to get a good sleep. I never got a good sleep. For years, I never slept properly. Never relaxed. And it was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. I felt that life wasn't worth living. And often in my time as a policeman, seeing people, you know, do crazy, dark things. And I was at that place, you know. I never thought I'd get there. I never thought I'd get to the point where I couldn't function. And I just looked back at my life. I thought what I thought was good times with the alcohol, but all it done is destroyed me as a person, physically and mentally, and I had huge anxiety. I had nothing in my life anymore. That's how bad it gets. I'm here to warn people, you know. I'm sure that's why I've been spared. Because I went to see an alcoholic care team the other day with a view to go and help advise with them and try and get people to stop relapsing. And the nurse I saw there, I saw nearly 6 years ago, and she said, we thought you'd die because you had decompensated alcohol-related liver disease. The prognosis they gave me in 2019 was to live for 1 year maximum. And here I'm 2025 and I'm pretty fit. I've got some liver damage, but it's all controllable. It's compensated, which means there's no symptoms. I don't drink anymore. I'm fit. I travel widely. I've got a new partner. I'm doing okay. So I'm here to give you some hope as well. But the morning routine of getting up feeling helpless and then trying to maybe brush my teeth, maybe not, and try and get another drink down, because I would be shaking so much I could hardly hold a can. So I used to, like I said, lie in the bed and pour some drink in my stomach and then roll out of bed sort of thing, and just sit on the edge of the bed for 10 minutes to get my bearings, as it were. And I felt dizzy all the time. I felt faint, and I often used to fall over. Broken ribs and all sorts. Never went to hospital. You don't want to go, do you? And the hole I was getting into was getting bigger, if that makes sense. Because I couldn't focus on why I wanted to give up. I mean, I knew I had to give up because I was dying, but I felt totally helpless. Some of the people that I speak to at the moment, I do one-to-one mentoring, they're the same. I managed to pull quite a few round. So just get on the phone, get to the hospital, ring 999 if necessary. That's what I did in the end. And as soon as the ambulance crew arrived, I heard one paramedic say to the other, I don't think he knew I was in earshot really, this guy's not well, we're going to get him to hospital double quick. And that's what happened to me. And I was in hospital then for the best part of 2 years, on and off. So if you're desperate and you're so ill, you've got to get help. Because I think, by my own judgment, what the doctors told me, what the specialist nurses have told me, if I'd left it another month or two, I'd have died in that flat, without a doubt. I was so malnourished, I was so ill, my liver was failing fast. Because when you get ascites fluid and spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, which is a dangerous infection, then you're just about finished. You're just about finished. And I was so close to the edge. And I'm lucky to be here. And relapse is very important as well. You've got to, when you're off the booze, you've got to stop off it. I was off for 8 years and I started again. Then a few days of starting, I was back to square one, drinking every day. I'm drinking from early morning every day. Relapse has to be prevented, and that's the thing I'm trying to push here. Because once you get off it, staying off it is much harder than getting off it for most people. I mean, I had seizures when I came off because I was dependent. If you're not dependent, you can normally taper off without any medical intervention. It's keeping off the booze. That's the main issue here. And if you don't do that, you'll end up like me. A frail old man as I was then, who had nothing to live for, and I hated myself, and I hated my life. But I managed to pull it round, and I'm here to help you as well. I'll put a link in for the mentoring support service that I do. I've got an ebook out. I've got lots of experience of alcohol issues. There's over 13,000 subscribers now, most of whom have got or had serious alcohol issues. They're all there to talk and help. Reach out, get some help, and don't just suffer in silence like I did, because it nearly killed me. I was on the verge of death. And people say to me, you should smile more. I do smile. Don't you worry. I have a great life now. Being sober is fantastic. But I put these videos out to help people. And sometimes you've got to be a bit serious and a bit morose, and you've got to get the message across. If you benefit from the channel, then please subscribe. Anything you want me to talk about, drop me a line, and I'll speak to you soon.